fight number 3, my first real challenger. We started in the clinch. You could immediately see with his movement that he knew what he was doing. We were clinching, we were moving around. I shot for the takedown, again going for the body lock after what happened in my last fights. I was holding it, trying to pull him through, however I didn't get it. Tried to sweep him through, however I ended up in his guard. He went for the guillotine. He never went over the neck, so there was no problem there. I moved into side control, however he was quicker than me, moved into turtle and went to my back. Beautifully done by him. I was keeping my arms close, trying not to give a lot away, but he was on my back. He was immediately putting on some good pressure, making me think, and then jumped for the guillotine. Had me in guard. Luckily for me, he didn't have it correctly. I could pressure him with my right shoulder, put my hand through, and I was never in danger, luckily enough, and I managed to break it quite easily. However, I was still in his guard. As you can see, for one moment I was thinking about going for a leg lock, however I didn't do it. I jumped over one of my favorite techniques, going for the guillotine. However, he managed to jump over it, went into side control. Beautifully done by him. And then he was in side control position. I started making frames, my left arm, my right arm, and he was in side control. Kind of a bad position for me, especially if this would have been like a street fight or anything. You never want to be on your back. So I started moving towards my knees. He had a chin strap, he was around my neck. I was fighting his hands. I tried to shrug him off, didn't get it, and this time he went for the guillotine again. And this time it was in. I'm gonna be honest, he had the guillotine, he was applying the pressure, I was pushing through, and you see my hand going. For one moment I thought maybe I was gonna have to tap. His family was applauding him, they were cheering. It was kind of a high stakes moment. As you can see in the background, a group started forming. Strangers who have no idea who they were coming, they were filming, but I managed to get out of the guillotine. I was lucky to get out of the guillotine because it was in, and then he decided to get up and we were back standing into a wrestling position again. We gave each other a little bit of a breather before re-engaging, and we continued. But at this moment I knew I had to put on some pressure. I couldn't get into another guillotine. The last time I was in big trouble. He was doing better than me at this point. I was just getting out of bad positions. I shot in for another takedown, again for the body lock. I knew I had to get him down. Went back to the body lock, walked a little bit, made the angle and got him down. I went over his left leg, pushing it through, and then jumped over his neck, went for the guillotine. This time I didn't let his leg go. One arm guillotine and he had to tap. I tried it earlier on, he jumped over it. This time I managed to trap his leg, and that was gonna be it. I won by submission. He got really close to tapping me, however I ended up getting him back with the guillotine.